I want to welcome you to Dream Chasers Radio with me, your host, Yaya Diamond. What's up, peoples? How you doing? Yes, yes, yes. So a lot of people say to me, hey, Yaya, what's up? I just like doing it. I don't know. And it started and I can't fix it. So I'm just going to keep going because I got Dr. G on the show today. And let me tell you something. She
Yeah.
is an amazing author, but not only that, an amazing person. And I want to welcome her to the show. Welcome to the show, Dr. G. What's up, girlfriend? How you doing?
Yeah. Well, what's up? Everything is good over here. How you doing?
I'm
It's
doing
good to be
good.
on the show, and thank you for hosting today. I
Oh,
appreciate it.
thank you. Thank you so much. So a lot of people don't know who you are and your background is so extensive. Tell me a little bit, like in a short little like nutshell kind of thing.
Okay, so you give me an hour to do that. Okay, so in a nutshell, well, some people say that I'm transformative. Some people say I'm motivational. I think I like to rest right in that vein. And so I am a motivational speaker, and my genre is transformational. And so my goal is always to touch the heart of mankind, because I feel that when we touch the heart, then everything else transforms. So that's pretty much where I rest. I'm a native of the beautiful islands of Bermuda. I'm a single mom. Woohoo! So there's no snow going on over here. Although
Hey.
everybody thinks that it's cold, I think today it might be low 70s. So it's cold for the natives, right? But this beautiful island, I will say it's just a jewel in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. We're very close to the border of North Carolina, Cape Hatteras, we're about 800 miles away. So by flight, it's about 2 hours from Cape Hatteras to from New York. And I think in between there's like about a 1 hour to New Jersey or something like that. So we're relatively close to the United States. Let's see what else about me. I still work also. I'm a corporate trainer in a very prestigious hotel here in Bermuda. So I do all the training, et cetera, there. I'm also a pastor. And so I got my hands in that pot as well, outside of being an author. And I'm actually doing my PhD in global organizational leadership with Johnson University. So I'm actually in my proposal stage now. So I hope the end is in view. But I'm sorry, I was supposed to say professional. Sorry. Yes.
Yeah, but I tell you what, I'm done. Okay, this is the end of the show. I cannot compete. I am not gonna try. There is no way I can do all that. You are an
Oh
amazing
my gosh.
person.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. So, okay, so you do all that to say that you're an amazing person, but when did you start like writing? When did you know you wanted to do that?
Oh, that's just a thing. Yeah. I'm sorry. I didn't want to be a writer.
You
That was
didn't.
never, no, was never in the cards. I do recall, I just graduated from seminary. My late husband was with me. And I remember this person coming up to me. I just remember because he had on a dark suit. And he shook my hand. He says, I look forward to reading your book someday. And I looked at him and I looked at my husband, and I can't say what I said online because now that I'm a pastor too, so got to keep it straight, right? But I was like, no. But thank you, sir. And off we went. I would say now I graduated from seminary in 2012. So about 2014, when things shifted for me, is well, my husband, he collapsed and died, but that's a whole new story.
I'm sorry.
Um, yeah. But I woke up one morning, I heard a voice say, go write.
Mm.
And I said, okay, what am I writing? You know? And so I'm a jokey person. So I sat poised at my keyboard. And the first book I wrote was Nehemiah Prototype. It's a leadership book out of the book of Nehemiah. And 7 hours exactly, I was done.
Mm.
So I just plunked. Now, what I am learning in my journey is that I'm kind of abnormal because most people don't write like that. I have no point of reference. But remember, I was never looking to be a writer. Never, ever. Let me say it again. Ever, ever never
Let me tell
ever.
you, I can just see you. I just see you like with your husband, and the guy comes up to you. He's like, "I look forward to reading your book," and you say, "You got me bent." Okay.
Yeah. Like I said, I can't say what I said to the person. I'm on national. I'm going to be on national TV, so I got to keep it clean. You know what I mean?
That's
But
all right.
so that was the first book, and I actually started doing some teaching from it within, I would say, well, actually, let me go back. My pastor at the time said, "What have you done here?" And I'm like, I don't know. This is what I heard. He said, this is book material." And I'm thinking, okay, but I don't know how to write a book. And so I sent it off to the publisher, and voila, book number one.
Mm,
Book number two,
mhm.
it turned out to be The Woman at the Well. But when our viewers go to look at it online, I don't want you to be confused. It's not for the woman. It talks about generational curses
Mm.
and how to break those things, and how this girl goes through her life, not knowing why she does what she does. But then when she went back to her bloodline, for an example, she got to see what caused her to be the person that she was. But then she had the opportunity to shift it. And so that was The Woman at the Well. That one took me about 10, 12 hours. Again, it's like writing a good sermon. And then, now remember, I wasn't writing anything. Remember. And so I heard, and let me bring the audience in for just a moment. I am a woman of faith, of strong faith. And when I say I hear, it's because I hear the Spirit of the Lord speaking to me. And so I'm just conduit. I don't know the plot. I don't know the storyline. I don't know anything. I just type what I hear. And that's how my journey has been. So
Oh my
he's
God.
given me the opportunity to write in parabolic format. Most persons don't really read the Bible. Well, some Christians don't read the Bible.
Yeah.
And so what he's been able to impart in me is everyday parables by way of scripture. So you'll be reading scripture, but don't know you're reading scripture. And so when it came to this last work that I've done, WarBaby, that one took me, that was a little longer. And here's why it was a little longer. I had just come out of hospital. I had a cycle accident in 2012, and I had to get some of the bolts and screws taken out of my ankle. And so they was removing the hardware. I had come home and I heard the infamous words, "Go right." And I'm saying, okay, but I just came out of the hospital. Sure. So I put my leg up on my desk, propped it under pillows, and had my laptop, and I just start writing. And the reason it took me longer because I was in pain. And
Yeah.
so I would type as long as I can go, and then I will stop to recoup. But it was so impressed upon me to write. So that one took me just shy of a week.
That's it.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what? You are not normal. You are not
That
normal. You're just
It's so
not.
strange. The publisher said that to me as well. He said, he says, "Well, how long did it take you to write, your writing?" And I said, "Oh my gosh, it took so long." See, for me, that's long. I said, "Well, the first one was 7 hours, the second was like 10. And the last one, oh my gosh, I thought I'd never get through. It was a week." And he looked at me like I had just grown horns or something. And I'm saying, because remember, I have no contacts. I have no,
Right.
I didn't. He says, "I've been working with the best authors, and some of them take at least some up to a year to write."
Yeah.
And so I'm like, if I had to write for a year, I'm letting you know, sweetheart, the book is not getting done. Okay. I am not sitting for a year. Not happening. Anyway, I'm sorry. I digressed a bit, didn't
No, it's okay. It's okay because I
I?
feel the same way. It's like, okay, so writing is such an amazing skill, and you have it
Mhm.
on, I mean, like on, maybe like, how would I say, a few,
Steroids.
maybe some Cuban coffee or some Colombian coffee. I mean,
Mhm.
you just got, so what, I mean, how do you, I mean, do you stop when you write? I mean, 7 hours, 10 hours a week. What is your process?
Well, remember I told you I'm a preacher, I'm a pastor.
Right.
So I can start my usually I'm preparing all week, but on say Saturday, I'll get up and get my mom settled, and then I'll go back in my room and I will stay put until everything is done. So I don't eat, I just stay there until it's done. And when I get up, it's done. And if I try to go back to amend, change, do anything like that, it doesn't flow. I don't hear anything like that. Like I might say, like if I wrote a sentence, I typically write in hours, and I'm like, no, maybe you should say you write in hours typically. I can't get it to flow, so I just say, okay, you know what, is done, it's done. And then I
Wow.
just and if you ask me the storyline, I don't have one. So I don't know the story.
So you're
I just
literally listening and
mhm,
typing.
yeah,
That's it.
conduit. That's all I am. It
That
was
might,
very
oof,
it was very interesting because when I wrote Woman at the Well, I remember some ladies asked me if I would read at a book club. And I said, sure, publicity, sure, here locally. And I'm reading and I'm watching this lady across from me, and she's getting kind of fidgety, you know, and it made me kind of uneasy, but I just kept reading because the books are fictitious. They're not real,
okay.
they're
Mhm.
not. I have to say it again, they're not.
Right.
And this lady says, how do you know about my town? I said, excuse me?
What?
She says, you have described my town where I know exactly where you're writing about. I said, well, do me a favor, tell me about it.
Mm.
Because I have no clue. And she was telling me, I know my late cousin, she was living with me for a little while as well. Sounds like a lot of people around me died, but that's not really the case. But um, she did some research, and she said, Dr. G, this is a real name in the Sable Islands. I said, okay, where's the Sable Islands anyhow? What I'm saying is the
You're just
description
listening.
did. I don't know where
Wow.
these places are. And so when WarBaby came about, I think the prelude, if I may just, it was something that when I went back and looked at it, the preface, I'm saying, who who wrote this, because it's beyond my capacity, it's beyond my I don't write like this. Now don't get me wrong, I can write, but I don't write like this. If I may do this, it says, this is the introduction. War is an intrinsic and inflammatory position for acquisition, whether it involves a retrieval of personal possession by force, a position of headship, or to determine a tactic to undergird the economy. War can present a contest carried out by force of a nation against or for another nation, and leadership against headship, bringing with it many casualties to include both the guilty and the innocent. War is an authority to promote the sovereignty of God to mankind for the protection of a chosen group of people. War establishes a place of humility between God and humanity. War is beneficial to secure and redirect rightful ownership while displacing those that operate in corruption. War is inevitable, yet when engaged, it will stretch beyond nations, nestling itself within the bowels of one's persona as it matriculates weaponry of mass destruction. the destruction that will cause the strongest of personalities to submit to mediocrity, a family to turn against each other, and an institution of influence to exploit its patrons. War is without prejudice, for it is an action fueled by the personalities of those that will implement the initiative. It can engulf the actions of a subtle and brilliant mind that is yet to be demarcated by the values and truth determined by parental, educational, and spiritual disclosure. War transcends in a natural progression, arresting the culture that embraces it as a means to an end, a culture understanding that embraces conflict as a position of harmony is an eccentric view and one that gains an unearned support by a premise of artificial entitlement.
Oh, and you're telling me that you don't write like this, but that you wrote this.
I did write it. And I have to really confess, I had to read it because I didn't know what was in the book. And I was afraid if he asked me a question, I might not know the answer. So I had to reread it.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Wait a minute. Wait. So what, and not many people can do this. What you're telling me is that you are so into, okay, let me ask you a question. Just one question. You know that little voice in your head that tells you, don't do that, do this, and go there, but don't go there. Do you always listen to that voice?
Not all the time.
I got you.
I'm honest.
That is the voice that you're probably hearing when you write that book. And a lot of people ignore that voice. They ignore the don't turn here, then they turn there and they get into a car accident. Don't leave yet.
That's right.
Leave a little later and don't worry about it. You'll get there on time. You don't. Oh, that little voice or that mistaken, oh, I forgot my keys, I got to go back. That is your saving grace.
That's right. Absolutely.
And yet I can't hear that voice all the time, but you're telling me that that voice will sit with you for 7 hours and feed you, and you have no, oh my gosh.
Yep. And like I said, WarBaby, if this is, I'll be honest with you, the space that it transports me in, I like it. I wish I could afford to, I watch a lot of Hallmark. Okay, so excuse me, go off to France. Yeah. I go off to France or something and just write, and just write, but then I have to come back to reality, and here I am.
I have a place I go that takes me away, that I love to go from time to time to kind of get away from reality, because everybody needs to get away. And I understand that you like that space. So I just want to know, like, when you come out, what is it like?
Sometimes it can be exhausting, because I'm just really conduit, and so when I come out of that space, I probably want a snack. I watch TV or just do something that does not require brain juice.
Wow. How many books have you written? Or how
This
many
will
books
be
have
my
you
third
heard?
one.
How many, I should rephrase that.
Oh,
How many books have you heard that you wrote down?
Well, here's the thing. I do have a garden. I was told to plant one. And I was like, a garden? I don't have a green thumb because I take everything literal. Okay. In the spirit realm, is not a garden that you're going to plant something in. He was telling me plant a garden. So right now in my garden, I have probably 17, 18 topics that I can write on, but I haven't heard to write on. So I let me give you an example. In between the Nehemiah book and Woman at the Well, because I teach leadership, I was on a roll with Nehemiah. I was like, okay, I'm going to write Nehemiah prototype 2, and I started. And after, I would say 2.5 weeks, I had 8 pages. And so this
Oh,
young lady said to me, she said, and it was very strange. She said to me, Miss G, maybe that's not the book you're supposed to write. And I'm like, no, no. See, yes, do I always listen to the voice? Okay,
yeah, I
no,
got
because
you. No,
I'm going to
yes.
do the Nehemiah prototype 2. That's what I'm doing. She said, but you say you write in hours and you've been almost 3 weeks and you have 8 pages. Maybe you need to write something different. And I'm thinking, how dare you? But I listened to her and it was just like flat line. I didn't hear anything. And then I heard Woman at the Well. I said, okay, you want me to write about the woman at the well? He said, no, it's called Woman at the Well. Now write. And that was the one that took me 10 hours. So
Oh
10
my
hours, I did a whole book, 8 days, no, 2 weeks, I did 8 pages. So although I have the garden,
God. Right.
I have not dabbled into it because I haven't had instruction.
Wow. Wow. What is your favorite book that you've written that you've put your name on? I mean,
Oh,
I don't know how to
wow.
say this. Dr. G, you're confusing me. But no, but literally, this is amazing to me. This is like something that's kind of like out of the paranormal.
Mm, mm. I would say, well, Nehemiah is, of course, is dear to my heart because it has to do with leadership.
Mhm.
And what Nehemiah did was a phenomenal feat, to build a wall and reform people in 52 days. Now, I haven't been able to do that yet, but, maybe I just keep working on it. But I think Woman at the Well, because in it, there's a way to find forgiveness, self-forgiveness. And I think that is something that we do struggle with, because unless you've had a perfect life like mine, ha ha ha, you know, um, the challenge is that it keeps you bound, and it's very difficult to experience your value because the things of your past always overshadow you. And when you think you've put them to the side, there's always somebody either in the family, at work, or friends, or somebody that's going to resurrect that one thing that you was trying to forget. And what you find out is that where you were taking a couple of steps forward, now you've regressed in that space.
Yeah.
So to me, self-forgiveness, and that's what Woman at the Well kind of steers the reader towards. It's finding how to forgive yourself so that you can move on.
Now, let me ask you one question.
Yeah.
If I would dare, Nehemiah,
Mm-hmm.
the first one that you wanted to write, the sequel to.
Yeah.
Could it be that you're just not ready for it? Or could it be that you haven't experienced the one thing you need to experience that would take you to that level?
Okay. Why don't you just get out of my head? Why don't you? But I think you're absolutely right. I think because even though these stories are fictional, when you write, part of you goes into the book.
Yes. Yeah.
So I guess I can't speak from where I haven't been,
Yeah.
because then the authenticity of it will not translate through the pages, if that makes sense.
It does.
So you're probably right. I think I'm all that plus a bake, a chip and dip, but I still got a lot to learn.
I think I'm the corner of the chip.
See,
The one that fell on the ground.
and you counted 3 seconds and picked it up, right?
No, two.
Oh, two.
Before
Oh,
the
2
dog
seconds.
gets it. Before the
Oh,
dog
I
gets
see.
it.
Oh my goodness.
Oh
Oh
gosh.
wow.
But yeah, definitely, definitely. No, I understand where you're coming from. And I'm not
Mhm.
trying to get in your head, but I was just like, maybe it's because you know, a lot of times we do have to go through certain things to get to some place to go, oh my gosh, that was it. That
That's
was
right.
it. So yeah, I
That's
mean,
correct.
that might just be it, you know. So
Hmm.
as a
Hmm.
child, what did you want to do when you grew up? And I know you said you didn't want to write. So what did you want to do?
No. Well, I wanted to be a nurse. I wanted to be a flight attendant. I wanted to be, um, oh, let me tell you about the nurse piece. That was so funny because when I thought about being a nurse, um, my mom said, okay, okay. So she let me work as a candy striper. Now that's a volunteer in the hospital.
Hmm.
Um, and I remember I was stationed outside of OR. I have no idea what OR meant, operating room.
Right.
I'm a kid, I don't know. And so they had us clean the utensils and stuff. And I remember asking, I don't know, somebody in a white jacket, it could have been a nurse or a doctor, I have no idea. I said, what is these things used for? And she says, oh, these are the instruments that they insert in, the person and some. Mhm. So that was the end of the nursing. It ended just like that. Okay, because I'm very scornful. I also wanted to be a singer.
Okay.
But then my mom forbade that. And so, because she said I had to get a real job. And so I think my whole life, what I've been doing is speaking from personal experience and always encouraging. So when I look at everything that I wanted to be as a child, I think it has culminated into what I am today. So I take the time out to impart. It doesn't matter where I am, who I'm with. If I feel that nudging to say something to someone that will encourage, then I will come up to you and say, hello, hi. Um, okay, wow. I'm Dr. G, and I just want to leave this with you. And that's what I do. And I just say what I have to say, and I say, and have a great day. And hopefully they will receive what I just said.
Wow.
So this is just an extension of who I am.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. And
Yeah.
I guess I don't have a real job.
Of course you have a real job.
I'm a singer.
Oh, okay. Oh, right. That's right. No,
I have a
I
real
had an
job.
audition. Now I had an audition. I can't remember the gentleman. He was a jazz player. He was old as Methuselah when I was auditioning. And I'm not saying it in a disrespectful way, but he was very old. He was well-known jazz musician. I can't remember his name. And he came to Bermuda, and my uncle introduced me to him, and he says, so let's see what you can do. And back then I had a 3 to 4 octave range. Like I had the lower, like I can go from deep contralto to top soprano back in the day. That's gone. It's gone. It's
Yeah, well,
gone.
I
I
mean,
know my place.
you could probably get that back, or at least half of
Mhm.
it, because I mean, that's just because you haven't been practicing. That's all.
No, no. Right. You're probably right, but no. But he said to me, he says, like he played Summertime, and he
Hmm.
just played it, he just kept moving up, not half steps, but whole steps. And I was just hanging with him. And he said, I need to take you with me. I said, well, you got to get through my mom first. And so obviously I'm still here in Bermuda, and he's now going on to glory. And so no, I never came off the rock. So, but I mean, I'm not, I've always been with music in my church. I was the director of music for a little while, for about 15, 20 years. And so I've helped many come through, coaching, vocal coaches and stuff like that. So I got to sing, but
That's
not
great.
me, through them. Yeah,
Right. Yeah,
yeah,
but it's
yeah.
never too late as long as you're here.
Mm.
She's like,
That sounds like that writing thing. I don't think I'm called to do that, but okay.
watch it before you hear that voice say, sing.
It better not. It just better not. I will purse these lips. I promise you. I won't let a word come out. Okay. That's what I'm gonna do.
Damn,
Yep.
you're gonna have to get back with me if that happens. You have to be like,
Oh my
yeah,
God.
yeah, girl, you did it. I don't know what you did, but I wish I would have never come on the show because
I'll come look for you. Okay. I
More than
promise.
that way,
That's a
okay?
promise. Oh my
Wow.
gosh. Oh my
Wow.
gosh.
This
Yeah.
is such a pleasure. So your book, WarBaby, has some quotes in
Mhm.
there, and I know that you wanted to talk about a few of those. So
Mhm.
what does it have that's so pertinent, that's so informational for us?
Sure. When we look at the main character, Daniel, see, I had to look at the book. Yeah, Daniel. Yep. Um, his journey put everything in perspective. Now, the other thing, yeah, that I do is I write in first person. I write as if I'm the person, but
Mm,
I'm not the person. And someone said, most writers don't write that way. But again, I guess I'm not most writers. I don't know how to write any other way. So I become the main character, and then that's how it works. But there's a few quotes in there um, that Daniel learned. And one is make serving others a priority. Only then will your needs be met. And I think during Daniel's journey, he learned how to come out of self. It's just like I wrote an article on success, and success is measured differently for all different people. But for those that feel success is by acquisition, um, what I am also learning and what I've observed, the more one acquires, the more self-absorbed they become, self-centered. Um, Everything is about self, and this is what I have done, and not recognizing that even though you may have been the instrument towards the success, you had many people along the way that helped develop your success. It could have been that teacher in grade school that you've forgotten about, but everybody has put a deposit in you. So you can't stand before everyone and say, I did this and I did that. So when you serve others, your needs will be met. Another thing that Daniel learned was do not be blinded by deception. It corrupts the soul. And so again, with that quote, it might look like gold, it might shine like gold, but really it isn't gold. And you got sucked into that space. And before you know it, you've become what you said you would never do. So again,
mm,
the other one is be careful what and how you define as a good life, for it may be laced with evil.
mm.
And I think Daniel was enjoying life. I mean, like really, really enjoying life. The women, the cars, the money, you know. But then one day he woke up, and like I think he had 3 chicks in the bed with him, like, so what am I doing? So again, those just some of the lessons. There were 16, I think, no, I think 21 lessons in the book as well. I think one that's most important is really critical. War doesn't discriminate.
Nope.
It captures both the guilty and the innocent. And if we think about just in the natural, when things are consumed by war, the innocent bystander, how many people just happen to be in the wrong place at the right time, don't even know what's going on, and their life is taken, you know? And so those that are in it, and they know they're in it, and they know that their life can be taken, is one thing. Well, what about that child that was playing in the swing set? What about that mother that was walking down the street pushing her baby? You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
so when you start looking at war, it really, it's a nasty beast,
it is.
so yeah.
Wow. Well, well, I want to
Mm,
thank you, Dr. G, for being on the show, first of all.
uh,
Second of all,
yeah.
keep listening to that voice. It might just tell you to sing. That's
I don't think so, yeah. But what I will like to say to persons, I'm so excited. The book is now available.
right.
Um, it is online, it's on Amazon. Um, I've had a couple of people approach about maybe interested in movie, But what I need to do is generate activity so that they can see that the book is something that people would like to read. And so what I do ask the audience and your audience as well, if they will take the time out, it is a Kindle. I think everything is under $18. I think the main book might be 17 and change. The Kindle is like $6 or $7. You know, so it is achievable. And then write a comment, you know, and you can be honest. Dr. G has broad shoulders, you know, but hopefully you'll find it entertaining. I'll slip this in. My godmother, she was reading it. She is 92 at the time. And she called me most upset. And I was thinking, oh my gosh, Godmom, what's the matter? And she says, that book. I said, oh, what happened? It's 3 o'clock in the morning and I'm still reading that book, you know, so she was telling me she couldn't put it down, you know.
Yeah.
No. So I was like, oh my gosh, I thought something happened to her, you know, but what happened was she couldn't put the book down. So if that's any indication, it is a fast read. It is not what you expect from a pastor, I guess, but it is something that will capture the soul. And at the end of the book, it does say it's an appeal. If anything touched you in the book, then reach out to me on info@godwininternational.org. Info@godwininternational is all spelled out in full.org. And let's continue the conversation. I am a certified life coach as well.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. Well, I want to thank you just so much for being on the show and for bringing, I mean, you know, a lot of people would be kind of not, how would I say it? Not embarrassed, but they just won't say what you said today. That's how they write their books. They hear it, they write it, they have nothing to do with it. They're just a conduit. They won't say that, but you know who you are and you know how you got it. Give the credit and the glory to the one that gave it to you and don't take the credit. That's it.
That's right. Absolutely. Absolutely.
I want to thank you, Dr. G, for being on the show.
Thank you. Thank you. So appreciate it. So appreciate it.
No problem. And I'm looking forward to the second Nehemiah. Let's see when it comes to you.
Yeah. Doesn't look like it's coming anytime soon. I guess I got a little more lessons to learn.
I don't know. Let's see what happens.
Maybe I end up singing. Maybe I end up singing before I write the book. And if I do, I'm coming looking for you. Where you say you are again?
I didn't.
Anyway, thank you again. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Right.
And thank you guys so much for tuning in. Don't forget to go to the description box below where we'll have the link to all of the books, especially WarBaby that is out right now. I want to thank you guys and don't forget to dare to be different. Until next time, guys. Bye. I gotta go because she might find me. I'm leaving.
I did to be different. I did to be different. I did to be